So where were you when the Iraq War was declared over, or the last troops left Iraq?
Gosh, I couldn't even tell you. It is so amorphous, it really is, and I don't think it's, everybody's still not out of there, but I know what you're saying. It's, gosh, I was probably practicing up in Lakewood at the time.
So did you have any reaction when you heard the war was officially over in Iraq?
I was glad that we were going to finish up there. I think we achieved the mission. I think that I think our time spent there was, it was worthwhile in the fact that, we deposed of somebody that committed quite a bit of genocide. It's unfortunate that, in my opinion, that, we're to a certain extent petro mercenaries, and it's probably more important that we keep the oil fields open than that we go in there for humanitarian reasons in our government's eyes. But without it, you wouldn't be able to go the places you go on a regular basis in a car, or the global village wouldn't exist without petroleum at this point.
So how did your family and community receive you when you got back from your deployment?
From this last, you mean?
Yeah, your final deployment.
Which one?
Your final one.
Oh, in Iraq, they love me. I had no problems, and I haven't had any problems since. I don't think we lived any of the things that the Vietnam era veterans lived. We don't have that kind of, but I think there's still a question mark in a lot of people's minds. How many of these soldiers are affected by PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder? How many of them are going to fly off the handle and maybe inflict some damage? So I don't know that everybody accepts you for just being a human, because you've seen and you've created a lot of carnage. But I've never had a problem with anybody giving me a hard time. And I don't really, I don't mind saying that I've been a career soldier. I'm happy to have been a career soldier. I'm happy that I spent my time in special ops.
What was it like readjusting to civilian life?
Oh, it's always difficult. You come into a situation, you want something done yesterday, or you have to have something done yesterday, and people don't understand it. They don't understand why you're intense about it, or where you're getting the impetus to move forward so quickly. It's because it needs to be done, and that's something I was telling you about before, was like when I first time I jumped into Panama, we just reacted. We didn't think, we reacted, but it was the right decision. And it's difficult sometimes when you're dealing with civilians that don't have that same urgency, sense of urgency.
Did any skills you gained in the military help you with civilian life, like looking for a job?
Oh yeah, my scholastic efforts were so pushed far forward by what I had learned in the Ranger Battalion. I'd get up at 4 in the morning and I'd start studying. I'd study till I'd take the earliest classes. I'd take the classes at 7:30 at Stanford and community college, previous to that. And I always did well because I'm not the sharpest knife in the kitchen by any means, but it's one of those things that I know how to study, and I know how to be disciplined, and I know how to speak to an instructor or a professor, in a respectful manner, mostly due to what I learned in the military.
Do you keep in contact with any of your friends in the military?
Quite a few. Let's see, when was the last time I saw anybody? Monday, on my way back from skiing. From Mammoth, I stopped in Sacramento, and I saw one of my pararescue buddies who's a major up there at the state headquarters right now. We had dinner together, and so at least once a week, so.
How did your experiences in the war affect you now?
Emotionally, physically, or mentally?
All three.
Okay, emotionally, sometimes it's difficult. I can turn things off very easily, and that's good. I can turn off my emotions very quickly and not have any issue with prosecuting the mission. That works very well in my job in the emergency room. When I see a patient that's bleeding, what do? Stop the bleeding, right? And do whatever it takes to do. I don't think about it, I just do it. And unfortunately, in relationships, sometimes that doesn't work so well. When you're supposed to be sensitive to someone else's needs, and you can turn off that sensitive side, and you let it all, it's basically leaving the person adrift. And so I've had to adjust to that. I've had to learn how to be understanding and sympathetic, if not empathetic. Physically, I've always stayed in good shape. They call me the skinny fat guy. That's what they did when I was in Ranger Battalion, and it was because I could run 6-minute miles or 5:45 miles and still look like the fat guy, and they just couldn't understand it. And what I do this morning, I rode 40 miles, I rode 70 miles yesterday on the road bike, I ran 7 miles 3 days ago. But that's just normal because that's what the military asked me to do, and I got used to it. Mentally, probably about the same. I think that I'm still liberal. I'm still a Democrat. I don't have any issues with the Conservative Party, but I just think that we're getting screwed around a lot of times, and I don't buy off on that. But my mental status makes me think that because I can see there's incongruencies in government and business that are affecting the vast majority of the populace, and there's a small group that is probably running it. And so mentally, I guess I should be different from that, but I'm not. It never did get broken out of me over those 20 years in special ops. Now, did I ever speak about that when I was in the military? Not very often. It's just like anything. You never speak about politics or religion, right? Never speak about my political points of view. I've always supported gays in the military. I've always supported women in the military, but all I ask is they need to be able to do the job I do. I don't need a woman in the foxhole with me. They can't carry me out and drag me out of there if I get shot. I don't need to be hit on or have a gay relationship, on the combat, in the combat zone on the line of fire, because people do dumb things for somebody they love like that, and it may cost someone else's life.
What do you think is the biggest thing you've learned from your experience in the military?
How to be disciplined, how to be accountable, how to be honorable. In the bottom, the end of your life, the only thing you take with you is your honor. There's nothing else that you bring with you out of this game, And I realize that, and quit once, you're a quitter, right? Suck one cock, you're a cocksucker, right? So I just don't ever quit, and I don't ever sell my honor for money or for power.
So do you have anything else to add?
If I was going to go into the military at this point, I've always stood by this. I would either, if you could make it happen, I'd go in for the college money. The college money is incredible. It's $2,500 a month, I think, for people at this point, tax-free. If they go into certain career fields, but I wouldn't go into anything except special ops or into maybe flying fast movers or flying rotary wing. But the vast majority of the military is dumber than a box of rocks. And I can't do anything about that, but we need those people. And I would do my homework, my due diligence before I ever joined the military. That would be the thing that I would add to this whole thing. And the military has been very good to me. I have no regrets for doing all my service. People keep on thanking me for my service, and I'm like, well, thank you for letting me do it. It was definitely a good ride.
Anything else?
That's it. Thanks for archiving this.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.